السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وبه نستعين وهو خير ناصر ومعين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها وعلى جميع نعمه كلها. وصلى الله على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين سيما خاتمهم وأفضلهم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. أما بعد، أوصيكم يا عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله. Once again, Friday comes in, then the necessity and the need to remind each other about the necessity of taqwa. Now and again we say that taqwa is the only tool for success in this world and the hereafter. Again, still being the month of Muharram, I thought it's good for us to be able to take lessons from this whole movement. You notice one of the unique things which happened in Karbala was that Imam had such beautiful companions and such loyal companions which the other Imams failed to have them. So you notice Ali alayhi salam says that لَوْ وَجَدْتُ أَرْبَعِينَ ذَوِي عَزْمٍ لَقَاتَلْتُ. Ali, after the Holy Prophet, he says that if I had just found 40 people, 40, it's a very strange thing. The Prophet worked for 23 whole years, but 40 people were not there to stand by the wilayah of Ali alayhi salam. So Ali says, if I were to just find 40 people who were loyal to me and hardcore supporters, I would have stood up. That's one example. This example is more interesting even. I found this riwayah and I felt I share it with you. At the time of the 6th Holy Imam alayhi salam, there was a person by the name of Sudair or Sadair as-Sayrafi. He narrates this incident, and I would just request you to just pay attention to the conversation Imam has with this man. And then you realize what the Imam is expecting, and our discussion then will be understood better. So Sudair says, I came in the presence of the 6th Holy Imam alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. He says, Wallahi ma yasa'uka al-qu'ud. I told the 6th Imam that, why are you not standing up? Why are you not fighting for your rights? You can stand up. You should stand up. He says, Wallahi also. So Imam turns back, he doesn't give his reply straight away. Notice the conversation, you come and understand the whole message Imam is trying to give. He tells him, but Sudair, why should I stand up? Why do you think should I stand up? So he turns back to him, Sudair turns back to the Imam and he says that, لِكَثْرَةِ مَوَالِيكَ وَشِيعَتِكَ وَأَنصَارِكَ. Notice the words. Sudair tells the Imam that, oh Imam, you know what? You have so many followers, that means the Shia. You have so many supporters, mawalik. You have so many Ansar, the helpers. You have so many, why are you not standing up? So Imam looks at him and then he turns back to him and says that, Ya Sudair, wa kam asa an yakunu. How much do you think? How many do you think there are? So Sudair turns back to the Imam and he says, Mi'ata alf. 100,000. So Imam turns back to him surprisingly and tells him, Mi'ata alf? 100,000? So he says, Naam, Mi'atay alf. No, not 100, 200,000. So Imam turns back again surprisingly to him and tells him, but Sudair, are you sure? 200,000? So he says, Naam, not only 200, nisfa dunya. Half of the world is your followers and your Shias. They are ready for you. So he says, Imam kept quiet. He didn't say anything. You notice how the Imams reciprocate. Imam kept quiet. He says, Sudayr, let me tell you one thing. You know the way we say, let's have a walk and talk, yeah? Let's walk and have a talk. So Imam did the same thing. He told him, let's go by a fountain and we'll have a talk there. Let's go in this open area. I'll give you an example then of what's happening. So now look at how it happens. Imam orders for a donkey and a mule. Again, those who understand animals will understand what's a mule, what's the difference between a mule and a donkey. But apparently they're all the similar type of, they're all in the horse. So Imam ordered a donkey and a mule so that they can go out. When it such happened that the donkey and the mule came, Sudayr straight away, he says that فَبَادَرْتُ فَرَكِبْتُ الْحِمَارِ I became so quick and I climbed the donkey. It was such a small thing, such a small thing. Imam could have rode the mule or the donkey. There was no difference in it. But you know what the Imam says? Imam turns back to, he says, Ya Sudayr, Atara an tu'thirani bil himar. Did you not see without asking me you climbed the donkey? A small thing only. But Imam is trying to show that every step, you claim to be a Shia, you say a whole of the world, half of the world is my Shia. The donkey only, you didn't ask me that what preference am I giving to a mule or a donkey? What am I giving the preference to? You just chose it for yourself. So he started giving excuses. He says, but you know the donkey, the mule I left for you is more decorative and more respectable to climb a mule than a donkey. So Imam says, no, I like the donkey better. So they exchanged. When they exchanged, now they move towards the destination. When they moved towards the destination, they reached a place where there was a youth who was taking care of goats. There was a farm basically. There were goats inside. That's when Imam makes this statement. He says that لو كان لشيعة بعدد هذه الجدار ما وسعني القعود. It's a strange statement. Imam says, if I had the amount of these goats here as followers, I would have stood up. And for sure I would have stood up. For sure. So this man, Sudayr says, we came down and we prayed. I was so anxious to know the amount and the number of these goats. So he says that I went, عَطَفْتُ عَلَى الْجِدَى فَعَدَدْتُهَا. I went to the goats and I started counting the goats. How many were there? How many? فَإِذَا هِيَ السَّبْعَةَ عَشَرَ. Only 17. 17. Imam says, if I had these 17 loyal companions, the amount of these goats, I would have stood up. I don't have 17. I don't. You know the interesting thing, I mentioned this because if you read in history, the minimum number of students narrated for the 6th Holy Imam is how many? 3,100. Sheikh Mufid and people like him narrate 3,100. The maximum they narrate is 4,000. Imam had 4,000 students. Out of 4,000 students, there were not 17 loyal companions. 17. And that's where we come and understand if today's Imam is in absence, is in ghaibah, it's not ba'id, and it's possible that he doesn't have companions. From the 6 billion people, 10,000 might be impossible for Imam to get them. So, 17. But then Karbala, and that's why we say Karbala's uniqueness is here. That Imam had 72 according to one riwayah, 120 of the loyal companions, loyal. And we'll discuss one of their qualities. And that's why the 4th Holy Imam says that I heard my father talking to the ashab and telling them that فَإِنِّي لَا أَعْلَمُ أَصْحَابًا أَوْفَى وَلَا خَيْرًا مِنْ أَصْحَابِي. Imam, the 3rd Holy Imam turns back to his ashab and says that I don't know anybody anybody from my forefathers and the ones going to come who had loyal and the best companions like I have. So, what made them the best? Before I go into one of their qualities, I just want to briefly discuss. We can have three types of relationships with our Imam. The whole reason I'm mentioning this because we have a present living Imam. It's opposite to the others who believe that the Imam is going to be born. No, we have a relationship with our present Imam at the moment. How do we deal with him? How do we deal with him? So, we can have three types of relationship with our Imam. One is that the hearts are with the Imam, but when it comes to practicality, we are not there with the Imam. We are not there with the Imam. I can give you an example. A practical example. Look, if you're an employee, if I am employed in one of the companies, there's a fellow employee who is very good, who is honest, who is trustworthy, who has everything, who has all the good qualities. This man he doesn't have a mistake. The employer starts accusing him of some mistakes. Or some other people, I call the mafia of the company, you know. In some companies you have these mafias running. If you speak against them, you're chucked out of the company. So if you speak against them in protecting this employee, you are chucked out. Look at myself and yourself. If we were in such situation, what do? Do we defend him or not? Do we defend him? How many of us will defend if we know our salaries will be cut? No, our job will go away. That's the same relationship Imam has with his followers. The hearts are there. But when it comes to reality, no, nobody is there to stand up. So, the example is the example of Kufa. Farazdaq, the poet, inshallah, if I get time, I'll talk about the difference in these poets who Imam has had. Farazdaq was one of the poets Imam met on the way to Karbala. When he met him, he is the one who gave him the news of Muslims' martyrdom also. He met him, he asks him, Farazdaq, what's the state of Kufa? So he makes this famous statement. He says, قُلُوبُهُمْ مَعَكْ وَسُيُوفُهُمْ عَلَيْكَ. These people's hearts are there with you, but their swords are against you. Their hearts are with you, but the swords are against you. I don't know how many of us do fall into this category. This is one type of relationship. If I had time, I would have explained about it more. The second type of relationship is such that no, I give my heart to the Imam and I also give some kind of other things also. So let me give you an example, then I explain. 3 weeks ago, Shaykh Al-Dina gave this example also, and I want to repeat that example. Ubaydullah ibn Hurr al-Ju'fi. This guy has an interesting story. The whole life of his is an interesting story. I don't have time to go, but quickly. This man, at the time of the third Khalifa, Uthman, he becomes his friend. And then when Imam Ali alayhi salam comes to Khilafah, he abandons him and goes to Sham. He goes to Muawiyah. He fights Imam Ali also with Muawiyah. But because he had a wife in Kufa, he had two wives, one in Sham and one in Kufa. He regrets his decision to go to Muawiyah. He wants to come back to Kufa. In Kufa, his wife now, because of some absence, the wife gets married to somebody else. So now he comes back to Kufa. He comes to Ali's camp now. Ali is the governor, Ali is the hakim. Again, look back at myself and yourself and look at Ali's justice, wallahi. Allah be sacrificed for this man. This man came, he's an enemy, he fought with Muawiyah against Ali. He comes to Ali and tells Ali that, Ali, you know what? My wife has got married to somebody else. Please help me. So he very politely tells him that, but you are the one who fought against us. Now you are asking help from us. So he knew Ali's justice. He knew Ali's justice. He tells him, even if I fought against you, even if I'm your staunchest of your enemies, will you refuse me justice, Ali? He says, you come to the court of Ali, you will never be denied justice. And Imam orders then his wife to come back to him. Again, in fiqh, there is a whole discussion on the absence of the husbands and all that. It continues, he regrets his decision being with Muawiyah, he comes to Kufa. Come the time when Imam, the third holy Imam, is coming to now Kufa. The letters have been sent, Imam is coming to Kufa. At that time, this man now decides that he wants to leave because he doesn't want to meet the third Imam. So he leaves Kufa. Incidentally, he meets the Imam on the way. Incidentally, he meets the Imam on the way. When he meets the Imam on the way, Imam tells his representative, go and call him and tell him that I am inviting him to join my camp. Ubaidullah ibn Hur al-Ju'fi says that the reason I came out of Kufa is so that I can escape you. But now I'm stuck with you. So when Imam saw this, he went personally to Ubaidullah, personally. And he tells him, Ubaidullah, I'm inviting you, come join me. So you know what he says? This is the same thing. You give the heart, your heart is with Hussein. You know what, Imam? This is my horse. This is a horse which I fought with it all the time. And I've never got defeated with this horse. Take, this is one of the best horses I can give. And this is my sword, take it. You know, we are the same. If I look at myself, I love the Imam and I give also donations, yeah? Donations is not a bad thing. But donations with the condition that the Imam should accept the donation on the opposite side. That's the condition. Imam tells Ubaidullah, if you want, I want you. I don't want your donations. I don't want your horse and I don't want your sword. Go. I don't want you. And then here's an interesting story how he died. My whole point is that the heart is there, the donations are there. I'm a businessman, so for me giving out money is not a problem. I can give out in the sake of Imam. I can do the best of the niyaz I can do. Again, I'm not denying that these are not good things. These are very good things. But have to be done. You come in the third category, that's when the Imam will accept it. So, the third then category comes that no, you give your entire self. You give your property, you give your children, you give your family. No, you give your entire self. That's what the Imam wants from us. If we can become like that, then Karbala is accepted with us. And the 12th Holy Imam alayhi salam will accept us. Otherwise, no. He doesn't look for companions who can give their hearts only. Look at this example. Before I go into giving examples from Karbala, there's an interesting hadith I found in Nahj al-Balagha. In the saying number 45, Ali has a beautiful saying. He says that لو ضربت خيشوم المؤمن بسيف هذا على أن يبغضني ما أبغضني. If I were to take a mu'min and if I were to chop him into pieces, Ali says, if I were to take a mu'min and chop him into pieces, that means I kill him without a reason. Ali has decided, the Holy Prophet has decided to come and take my life. He chops off. Ali says, that man, and I tell him, please hate me. He will never hate me. The mu'min will never hate. This is where we want to reach. Is that the Imam comes and asks for our life. Are we ready to give it or not? On the opposite side, Imam says that if I were to give, وَلَوْ صَبَبْتُ الدُّنْيَا بِجَمَّاتِهَا عَلَى الْمُنَافِقِ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يُحِبَّنِي مَا أَحَبَّنِي. If I were to give this whole universe to a munafiq to love me, he'll never love me. Never. Again, when I say munafiq, It should not, our minds should not go to the munafiqs. We are also hypocrites. We are also hypocrites. If I had time, I would have explained from the Quran how hypocritical we are also. And thus Imam is talking about us. So, are we such people that if Imam were to come and ask for the dearest thing from us, are we ready to give or not? And that's the success of Karbala. If you look at the companions of Karbala, they were ready to give, no. Their wealth, no. They were ready to give their family, their wives, their children, their selves for the sake of the Imam. Look at this hadith and then I explain you, I give you some examples from Karbala. At the time of Ali alayhi salam, when Imam was the governor and the Hakim, Asbagh ibn Nubata narrates this incident. He says that there was a man, there's a group which came to the Imam and said that this man is a thief. This man is a thief. So Imam takes confession from that man. He says, have you stolen? He says, yes, I've stolen. Have you stolen? He takes confession and he says, yes, I have stolen. When he takes the confession, now it's decided that his hands needs to be chopped off. Look at this incident and look at myself. I look at myself, I cry over these incidents. Look at yourself. Can we perform such things? Can we give Imam such things? When his hand was chopped off, the riwayah says, فَقُطِعَ يَمِينُهُ فَأَخَذَهَا بِشِمَالِهِ. His right hand, Imam cut it off because he had stolen. He had taken his hand with his left hand and blood was dropping from his hand. So a Khariji, the enemy of Ali alayhi salam, comes, his name was Ibn al-Kawwa. He says that, فَقَالَ مَنْ قَطَعَ يَمِينَكَ. He told him very sarcastically, who cut your hand? To try and incite hatred towards Ali. What should be mine and your answer? This man cut it off. Look at the man's answer. He starts, فقال قطع يمين سيد الوسيين وقائد الغر المحجلين وأولى الناس بالمؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب إمام الهدى وزوج فاطمة وأبو الحسن والحسين. And he goes on and on and on and praising the man. Wallahi, wallahi, Allah, we should ransom our lives for Ali, 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 Ali. This man says that, you know who has cut my hand? The best of the people has cut my hands. The best of the people. Imam al-Huda has cut my hands. The Imam of guidance has cut my hands. So Ibn al-Kawwa, again, if I go on reciting his praise, it might take me 5 minutes to recite his praise. Ibn al-Kawwa gets surprised. He turns back to him and tells him that, oh person, ويلك قطع يمينك وأنت تثني عليه هذا الثناء كله. He has chopped off your hand and you are praising him this way? So he goes on, he can't stop praising Ali. He can't stop praising Ali. He says, why? He says, you know what? وَمَا لِي لَا أُثْنِي عَلَيْهِ وَقَدْ خَالَتَ حُبُّهُ لَحْمِي وَدَمِي. You know why I can't stop praising this man? I'll keep on praising this man because my blood and my flesh has got mixed with the love of this man. And then he goes on to say that whatever he did, وَمَا وَاللَّهِ مَا قَطَعَنِي إِلَّا بِحَقٍّ. Whatever he has done, he's just done justice. He's given me the truth. Are we there or not? If Ali were to cut off my hand, no, cut off my finger, cut off my nail, will I praise Ali the way this man is praising him? If we have reached to that stage, then we'll qualify to become the companions of Karbala. I'll give you examples from Karbala. 4 examples I give from Karbala and you come and understand what these people sacrificed. First, Abbas ibn Ali alayhim as-salam. The riwayah says that Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad now was in a hurry to finish off the battle in Karbala. So he sent a letter to Umar ibn Sa'd telling him that until when are you going to delay this battle? Just finish it off. Umar ibn Sa'd now knows that the battle is now going to take place, people are going to die. So he comes to the camp of Abu Abdullah. He had relatives. Umar ibn Sa'd had relatives. Abbas and his three brothers were apparently Umar ibn Sa'd's sister's sons. Umar ibn Sa'd was a relative of Abbas and his brothers. So he comes to the camp of Abu Abdullah and he calls on to these brothers. He says that, Aina banu ukhti, where are these children of my sisters? And then he calls each one of them. Notice the answer Abu Abdullah gives. Notice the answer. He tells Abbas, ajibuhu in kana fasiqan. Reply him, Abbas, even though he's an enemy, even though he's a fasiq, we know he's a corrupt person. But reply him. Why? Because he's your relative. I can't keep on stressing more than this. I can't. If Hussein says that reply Umar ibn Sa'd, the staunchest of the enemies, because he's your relative, where are we, my brothers? Where are we? Today relations are breaking just based on jokes. Inshallah, if I have time later, I'll discuss. Marriages break, relationships break, all this. When Hussein is saying your brother, he's related to you. Even if it's Umar ibn Sa'd. Go reply him. He's your relative. So Abbas goes to Umar ibn Sa'd and he says, what do you want? So Umar ibn Sa'd turns back to Abbas and he says, Antum aminun. I give you a proposal. You are in peace. I'm giving you a peace treaty. You and your three brothers. فَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ مَعَ الْحُسَيْنِ. Why are you wanting to kill yourself? You know, if you don't come with me, you're going to die. The only thing you need to do is just obey Yazid. Again, what should my and your responsibility be? My life is at one place. Imam has told everybody, you're going to die, you're going to die. And the opposite side, I'm given life. No, I'm given everything. I'm given everything. I have a choice to make. And today, Jum'ah is a choice we need to make. What am I giving? Life to the Imam or the life to the superpowers of today? The Yazid of today? Who are we giving our lives to? Again, we don't have time to go and to delve into the Yazid of today. But who are we giving our lives to? Abbas's reply, Tabbat yadak wa la'na ma ji'ta min amanik ya adu wallah. A very firm reply. May you be destroyed, O Umar ibn Sa'd, and la'na and curse be on this peace treaty you are bringing for me, ya adu wallah, O the enemy of Allah. أَتَعْمُرُونَ أَن نَتْرُكَ أَخَانَا وَسَيِّدَنَا. Are you ordering us to leave the command of our brother and our master Hussein and come to you, the lu'ana, the cursed ones? One example. Total submission to the will of God and to the will of Imam. Total. I'm ready to give everything. I'll sacrifice my life for the sake of the Imam. No. The second example, I'll sacrifice my brother for the sake of the Imam. A second example given in Karbala. Again, I'm giving these names because we should even understand the other companions of Karbala. Umar ibn Qurda or Qarda al-Ansari. He had a brother, he was the companion of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He had a brother in Umar ibn Sa'ad's camp, Ali ibn Qurda or Qarda al-Ansari. You notice, I have a brother, I'm being told, go fight your brother. For the sake of truth, for the sake of the truth. Am I ready to fight my brother for the sake of truth? The moment I understand that I'm on the truth, he's on the false, I will fight. No, so that's the brother. Let's go a third example. Muhammad ibn Bushr al-Hadrami. It's another example. He's one of the companions Imam had in Karbala again. Muhammad was one of the people who joined the Imam. His son was captured and arrested on the border of Ray. This is on the border of Iran. He was arrested Imam even told him, Muhammad, let me tell you one thing. Your son is dear to you. Go, go, go. I allow you to go, go. Go and free him. What would be my and your reply? Again, I keep on questioning these things so that we can question ourselves. My son, the most dearest person to me. If I'm told he's in a problem and the Imam is waiting for me on the opposite side, who am I going to choose? He tells the Imam, no, 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 I'm not going to leave you alone. No, let my son see whatever happens to him. You are the priority, you. A fourth example, Nafi' bin Hilal. Nafi' is a strange example. He had just got, in our terminology, he just got engaged. For my youths, this is for my youths. Those who are getting engaged and want to get married, and they're swimming in the love of women, yeah? Swimming in the love of women should be learned from Karbala, wallahi, wallahi. The love of women is also left for the sake of Abu Abdullah. So Nafi' was just engaged, but their rasm was that they do aqd and nikah, and they didn't have official marriage yet, the ceremonies. So Nafi' left with his engaged wife, if I can put it in our terms. With his engaged wife, he left he met Imam on the way to Karbala. When he met the Imam on the way to Karbala, Imam invites him and he joins the Imam. On the day of Ashura, he's supposed to be wife, okay? His engaged wife, if I can call the fiancée, comes and holds the shoulder of Nafi' and starts crying and weeping over the husband and says that, why are you going? It's enough for a person to say, okay, Imam, my wife is asking me. She's also an obligation. She's also wajib for me to take care. No, no. Even Imam told him to that level, Nafi', I allow you. Your wife is your wife. Go. She also deserves some respect from you and something from you. He turns back to Imam and tells the Imam that, how am I going to reply you on the day of judgment? My wife is my wife, but how am I going to reply you on the day of judgment if I leave you alone? And he goes and fights. The companionship of Abu Abdullah is not easy. It's not easy. Abu Abdullah wants our wealth? No. Wants our children? No. Wants our family? No. Wants ourselves. Are we ready to give that or not? Let me give you another example from another companion, not a companion of Karbala, and then I give you a riwayah discussing the companionship of the 12th Imam. I needed to give a second khutbah also. I'll skip this inshallah for some other time. We pray to Allah that Allah give us the tawfiq to be able to become the sincere followers of our 12th Holy Imam alayhi salam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna a'ataynaka al-kawthar. فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر صدق الله العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها وعلى جميع نعمه كلها وصلى الله على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين سيما خاتمهم وأفضلهم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. أما بعد أوصيكم يا عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله. Once again, I remind you the necessity of taqwa. There's a message I want to just give. And before I go into that, I'll just, inshallah, take you 5 minutes and I finish. Again, I apologize for last week's delay. Inshallah, by 1:05 we'll have finished. There's a riwayah in Nahj al-Balagha where Imam talks about the different levels of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. You notice the whole purpose Imam came out for Karbala, the third holy Imam, was that he says, I want to do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. This riwayah explains what is Amr bil Ma'ruf. Do we understand what is Amr bil Ma'ruf the way we understand, or we need to take the definition from that side? Ali alayhi salam defines, he says there are 3 levels of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. So he says that the first level is that those people who have disgust towards evil, فَمِنْهُمُ الْمُنْكِرُ لِلْمُنْكَرِ بِيَدِهِ وَلِسَانِهِ وَقَلْبِهِ. There's some people, when they look at evil, they look at something wrong happening in the society, not only they feel disgusted in their hearts, no. Their tongues also come to movement, no. Their whole entire existence comes into movement, and they want to do something to eradicate that evil. And that was Abu Abdullah. He stood, he gave out his whole self to be able to reach that goal of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. So Imam says, this guy has achieved the level of perfection in virtues. And then he says the second stage is that person that wears disgust in the heart, who also speaks against evil, but if it comes to the hands and it comes to practicality, he can't. So Imam says, still we give him some benefits. He says he has achieved 2 virtues and 1 is missing. The third one is a person who just feels disgusted in his heart. Disgust. There's a disgust in the heart. I don't like what's happening, at least. But my hands cannot do anything, my tongue cannot do anything. So Imam says this man has achieved only 1 virtue, has left 2 virtues. And then Imam goes on to make this interesting statement. He says, وَمِنْهُمْ تَارِكُ لِلْإِنْكَارِ الْمُنْكَرِ بِلِسَانِهِ وَقَلْبِهِ وَيَدِهِ. There's some people who don't feel the disgust in their heart also when evil is happening. My brothers, Friday khutbah is not a place where we come and give news analysis. When we listen to Sheikh, he doesn't come and give news analysis out here. There are new news statistics coming out here. We are to be disgusted when we hear about evil. And that's the motto of Ali and the motto of Hussein. You listen to evil, you come and feel disgusted in your heart. Imam says, if you don't even feel disgusted, and you don't want to even move your tongue, you don't want to move your limbs, he says, فَذَلِكَ مَيِّتُ الْأَحْيَاءِ. This community is a dead community. The one which looks at evil, which looks at wrong, and still keeps quiet over it. No, it doesn't even feel disgusted over it. I want to bring this because there are problems in your community, my brothers and sisters. This community of yours is going towards that state where it's going to die. You're going to see people walking, but they're dead. You have to stand up. You have to do something. Yourselves have to do something for this community. Otherwise, there's nobody from outside going to come and help you. If you want to take the slogan of Abu Abdullah, this is it. I'm affected by each and everything which is happening in the community. Each and everything. In whatever my capacity I can do. Imam goes on to make this more statement. Ali alayhi salam, again, our lives be sacrificed for this man. He compares all the good deeds and compares even jihad with Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Notice his statement. وَمَا أَعْمَالُ الْبِرِّ كُلُّهَا وَالْجِهَادُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ إِنْدَ الْأَمْرِ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَالنَّهْيِ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ كَنَّفَثَةٍ فِي بَحْرٍ لُجِّيٍّ. Ali wants to compare to you Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar to all the good deeds you are doing, all the good deeds. You're praying, you're fasting, you're doing all these things. He wants to compare to Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Should I compare it to you? Ali says, I'll tell you something. The comparison of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar to all your good deeds is as if you spit in the ocean. What's a spit in the ocean? And that's why we understand that Abu Abdullah stood for Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Deen is alive because of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. The moment a community doesn't have Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar, it's a dead community. It's a dead community. And that's why Ayatollah Khamenei, may Allah protect him and prolong his life for the khidmah he's giving to Islam. He made a very beautiful statement last week when attacks were happening in Gaza, in Palestine. He told the Muslims, he met the Basijis in Iran, he made this statement. He says that at the time when Palestine is being attacked, it's the time when the conscience of the Muslims should be awakened. If you want to understand that you are alive or away or died, you should understand what's happening in Palestine. You don't say it's a Sunni issue. No. It should affect you the way it's affecting you, the community, what's going on in your community. So, based on that, there's a program which the Tabligh and Sheikh Razi is going to arrange. But one of the ways of keeping this community alive, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Al-ilmu ra'sul khayr kullih, wal-jahlu ra'sul shar kullih. If you want to see that you want to awaken this community, you want to awaken this community that it should not die, the Holy Prophet gives a formula. He says, acquire knowledge. Why? Because it's the root of all good. Al-ilmu ra'sul khayr kullih. Education is the root of all good. Again, when I say education, godly education. I discuss, inshallah, at the time I divide education and knowledge into two. I don't say secular and religious, I say godly and satanic. So godly knowledge is the one which is going to be given to you. It's the root of all good. And ignorance is the root of all evil. So Tabligh, in collaboration with Sheikh Razi, are going to arrange this Hausa course for our youths. My recommendation, again, my advice, my humble request to the youths and to the parents of the youths. These 2 years I have stayed with the Sheikh and I've seen this program and I've partially taught in these programs. We have seen the results in these 2 years. We've had some youths, beautiful youths blossoming in this community. So send your children. It's a 10-day course again, for the whole reason that this community should be able to get the source of all good. It's a 10-day course. Again, it's hard a bit, but inshallah, with Allah's help, they will be able to succeed in these courses, inshallah. Let's pray to Allah to keep this community alive and to be able to give us the courage to be able to keep it alive. Allahumma salli ala jami' al-anbiya wal-mursaleen sayyima khatamihim wa afdalihim Muhammad. اللهم صل وسلم على علي بن أبي طالب صل على فاطمة الزهراء صل على الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة صل على علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي صلواتك عليهم أجمعين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صدق الله العظيم.